Hi, I'm Reagan Byram, and this is my persuasive speech for speech 1315, excuse me. The organization I chose was the American Humane Society. In 1997, 64% of the total number of animals that enter shelters were killed. I got this information from the American Humane Society page. The American Humane Association is an organization that is very near and dear to my heart, especially for me being an animal lover. Did you know that only 25% of dogs and 24% of cats are in the shelter and end up being adopted? I got this information off of the Charity Navigator page. Can you imagine being an animal in a shelter and knowing nobody wants to take you home? I, for one, believe that people should adopt and not shop. I believe that people who want an animal should adopt from a shelter, rather than buy a puppy from a breeder of some sort. Do you know how many dogs could be saved if people would just adopt? Adopt, don't shop. Approximately 7.6 million animals enter shelters each and every year. And each year, 2.7 million animals are killed each year. I got this information off the PETA website. Of the dogs entering the shelters, approximately 35% are adopted and 31% are killed. I got this information from the Pet Statistics webpage. If people would adopt animals, think about how many lives would be saved. There are 6 to 8 million animals that enter shelters in the United States each and every year. I got this information for the ASPCA page. Most dogs that enter shelters are under the age of 18 months, so they're still puppies. I feel as if there should be multiple organizations that help get animals adopted in shelters. For an example, in my hometown, Rockwall, Texas, there's a group of people, families, women, men, who are in an organization called Rockwall Pets, and they go out and get animals from different shelters and foster them in their own homes and until they get adopted. And each and every weekend, they take the dogs to a pet store and have an adoption event to help them get adopted and find their forever home. I feel as if this is a great solution to the problem. If more places would do this, I feel as if there would be a lot more animals adopted and a lot more animals saved put into great homes. I feel as if the shelter, as well as individuals, should do a home visit to the people who are adopting the dogs as well. That's another solution I feel as if should be taking place. I know way too many shelters that you can just go in there and say, I want that dog. And you buy it and you leave with it. No one ever knows what happens to it or anything. And there are certain, adoption places that, do a home visit to your home to make sure where you're taking this animal is going to be a good home. I think that's a must. Anyone can adopt a dog. I got this information from the PETA statistics. The point of adopting an animal is to give it a great and loving home. And I feel as if people should make sure it's what the animal is getting at the end of the day. I know of way too many shelters, like I said, who just take home the animal and that's that. Hope it goes to a good home. They just want it out of the shelter, which that shouldn't be the case. It's not helping our problem here. Can you imagine how many dogs could be saved if a community like mine would come together and help animals in need? There are so many people who adopt animals who can say they will never buy a puppy again. I, for one, is someone who say that. A few years ago, we adopted our Maltipoo from an adoption place, and he is the sweetest thing. And I can't imagine him even being in a shelter and nobody wanting him. And ever since, we have not bought a dog. We just adopt. Because, remember, you adopt and not shop. If everyone would just adopt an animal, the shelters would be a lot emptier than they are today. There are always animals that are in need of a home. If we all came together and helped find these animals homes, there would be a lot of animals with smiles on their faces and happy, happy times. My goal is to get people to adopt animals rather than buying them from a breeder. There are so many advantages to adopting, so why not help an animal in need? And most of the time, you can find legitimate breeds in shelters that just don't have homes, and you can get them for way cheaper, way half the price. 2.7 million animals are killed each and every year. Let's all make sure to help get these numbers down. And remember, adopt and don't shop. This is my PowerPoint. American Humane Society by Ray Byron. There's a cute little picture of a dog and it says, "Adopt me." My attention getter. Did you know that 2.7 million animals are killed each and every year? There are so many kill shelters that's still left in this world, and if an animal is there past a certain time frame, they will be killed. Need. 7.6 million animals enter shelter each year. Only 35% of animals are adopted each year from a shelter. And 31% are killed each year because no one has adopted them. Solution. As I said before, my solution is for people like the people in my hometown who come together as a community and take animals out of shelters and foster them in their own homes and help them get adopted. My community uses a Facebook page and they post every animal that they get, and it's lots of people like it, and so that's really how they get adopted is people see a picture of an animal and they comment and say, "Oh, I want it," and they go to the adoption event and they adopt it, and it's just that easy. And I know for a fact that people, the Rockwall Pet Group, most animals are not even in their homes for more than 3 days. They're adopted after that. My visual. Can you imagine how happy animals would be if they went to an actual home? And how good you would feel to be saving a life? This cute little picture, it says, "I'm adopted, OMG, you mean you're not my real mom." A cute little picture. We're coming home. This was them in the shelter and them on their way home to their new home. What can you do? I feel as if every individual got involved in a community organization to help animals in need, the amount of animals killed every year would drop tremendously. Save a life. Last but not least, remember, adopt and don't shop.